It is a great honor for me to now invite someone who has always given us unwavering support and guidance for your leadership and for your championship of the localization agenda. Madam Amina Mohammed, United Nations Deputy Secretary General, please.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, my sister Eva Galeano, our Secretary of State for International Cooperation in Spain, just newly meeting His Excellency Ambassador Antonio de Costa Silva Neto, our Special Secretary for International Affairs. It's very nice to have you here. But also to my friend and my brother, as we have here, President of United Cities and Local Governments, Ugo Ibrahim Abte. We have been together for the past 3 days on the city's agenda. And our brand new Executive Director of UN Habitat, my sister Ana Claudia Rosbach. It's wonderful to have you here. I want to give a special shout out to the Hawaii SDG Youth Council. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, Excellencies, colleagues, I was going to start in my national language as everyone was beginning to speak in, and then I looked to my right and I saw my compatriot. We have 3 languages in Nigeria, so if I started with my own language, I would be in trouble tomorrow morning because they'd ask me about the other 2 languages, so I will fall back on what is the official language of Nigeria, English. Extending my appreciation, deep appreciation to the governments of Spain and Brazil for their invaluable collaboration with UN Habitat, the Global Task Force on Local and Regional Governments, and other members of the Local 2030 Steering Committee for organizing and having this space for us during the Summit of the Future, incredibly important. And we heard how, just by language, we will begin to localize the agenda. And I believe that when you see the Pact of the Future, you will see how important the local level is. There isn't a home or an institution that can be built from the roof down. It is about foundations. And the more we deepen those foundations, then we see sustainability in all the work that we do. Coinciding today with the International Day of Peace, we should also recognize how local and regional governments serve as defenders and the mediators of peace, but also protect people in the context of conflict and provide invaluable support to people who are on the move, but also, sadly, in many cases today, on the run. Colleagues, it's no secret that we have a lot of work to do between now and 2030. With only 17% of our SDG targets on track to 2030, urgent and transformative action is going to be imperative. It's also our commitment following the 2023 SDG Summit when we agreed on transformative and accelerated actions for the SDGs. And this is exactly the spirit that guided the creation of the Local 2030 Coalition, bringing together the UN system with partners for SDG localization. Under our coalition, a combined set of actors are championing the SDGs at the local level, and we heard today from some on the island of Hawaii. We are witnessing a diverse range of actors that are co-creating, they're incubating and investing in scalable solutions. And that I saw such a large number of young people through the UNDP Timbuktu initiative in Rwanda 2 weeks ago. With a projected increase in the global population of 2.4 billion people by 2050 and urban populations reaching 6.5 billion, our capacities to deliver require effective multi-level governance that would help us to manage the demand for public services with the financing to ratchet the pace of acceleration. And as we look ahead to pave the way for a better future, let me stress 4 points. First, the work across your networks and with national governments and parliaments to anchor the potential for growth and inclusion around key and urgent transitions, from renewable energy to green and blue economies to sustainable food systems. And so happy to see our colleagues from FAO here today with us in the room. Using the Local 2030 Coalition to unlock new opportunities for change. Through the UN Joint SDG Fund supported by the government of Spain, we've seen already 30 UN country teams already integrating these SDG strategies and transitions. The second point, including local leadership, including local governments and youth and decision-making processes and SDG implementation to drive impact. All this with a measure for accountability and for that impact that has been made in the lives that matter. Yesterday's Youth Action Dialogue provided a tangible opportunity to advance our shared goals. And they spoke extensively about inclusion and what that meant. They unpacked that from those of a great diversity of indigenous people, of people with disabilities. And these are all really important when we consider our rich fabric, human fabric of that diversity. Third, creating frameworks for collaboration, innovation, and investment, ensuring that we measure progress across social, environmental, and economic indicators. The Local 2030 Coalition Knowledge and Scientific Network is pioneering evidence-based strategies and capacity building to support such learning. And we've seen how important science has been to climate action when we use it effectively and target resources better. Fourth and last, advancing the recommendations of the Secretary-General's Advisory Group on local and regional governments. A new social contract that is people-centered must foster dialogue, intergenerational conversations, and create the space for voices to be heard and acted upon. Excellencies, colleagues, and dear friends, at the Summit of the Future Action Days, young people, civil society activists challenged conventional thinking and spoke for the change that leaves no one behind. Next year, the second World Social Summit and the fourth International Conference on Financing for Development will demonstrate the power of local transformations that are aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals. In COP29 and COP30 in Brazil, will also offer invaluable opportunities to respond to the aspirations of local actors and communities on the front line of socioeconomic and ecological crises. And this is because we ought by then to be delivering on NDCs, our nationally determined contributions that are economy-wide, therefore expressing how important it is for us to speak across the sectors and invest in that integrated manner. The G20 summit in Rio will also provide a platform this year to champion further reforms, as well as a connection to the urban agenda through the U20. But there's a huge focus there on poverty and hunger, bringing back really at the core of things, it is people and it is the environment that we live in that should take center stage. The success of the 2030 agenda will also depend on our collective actions. Together, we know that we can achieve the SDGs, ensuring that communities thrive in a future that is just, equitable, and sustainable. But let us also not forget the new era of technology. And we are discussing the Global Digital Compact, but many discussions have happened around AI and what that will mean for our societies. And that will begin in our communities, those that you represent here. So I hope you will take advantage of responding and engaging and bringing your thoughts and ideas to that space. I thank you.